You will. We'll see you. All right. No, I want you to drink something. I'll see you later. Are we on YouTube?
It's Friday. Carter's back. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. All that and more.
All that. Klein will be here in a little while. Does it say 88?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning to
How
you.
are you?
Excellent.
Glad you're back.
Tanned, rested, and ready.
Somebody forgot their coffee.
Yeah, they'll be back. That's Emmett Alvarez.
Let's do this.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. It's 59 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of only 88, which, by the way, it's like Napa Valley, Ash.
Is it?
That pretty much every day. When Dawn and I were just back, and it was over 90 degrees for 3 of the days we were there. And one of the guys goes, "This is our summer. It lasts about 2 weeks." I'm like, great. I come from Texas trying to get some of that rolling fog, San Francisco Bay Area weather.
Maybe you don't get that in September.
It was nice and cool, but watching guys go around harvesting grapes and stuff, it's right there, Mr. Alvarez. Watching folks Harmit, that's the cross between Emmett and Harvest is Harmit. And I didn't have to talk much at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning California time. So,
Good. Enjoyed it? You've never been out there, have you?
It's been decades. Mom and Dad, when I was a little guy, drug me out there, but I
back when they could drink and drive with you in the car and not get arrested.
Teetotalers, my folks. Thanks, HR. It's good to be back. Really want to do what I always do, but it's sincere, and he knows it. Really thank Caleb Shaw. He's it's a different look, because Caleb is knowledgeable and he is more conservative than I am. And I'm just a bleeding heart liberal compared to Caleb. But I always appreciate
stand next to me,
right after the Wade and Caleb show. I always appreciate you letting him come in. I think he does a great job.
No, he does do a good job. Yeah, absolutely. Marvin Mickerson, Bobby Leister asked who the new guy is.
Right. You say absolutely. You're like, yeah, I know. I'm on my way out.
His contract dispute's been settled. He's back.
I'm back. I was a holdout.
He's holding out.
Just quit working out. Just gained a few pounds. Came back.
Well, that's nothing new.
Actually, didn't. Donnie kept me on a plan out there. Good morning, T-Lat.
Yeah, how was that? Here's how proud of you are of that.
Yeah,
because I know other vacations you've gone. The first thing you said, God, I gained 20 pounds.
Oh, and it was real easy. It's real easy to go somewhere like a resort, and they've got a buffet every day, and they had all these beautiful pastries and stuff. And in the morning, I got the quiche. For real, and it helps. I didn't know. We actually worked out. They had a gym there, and I was kind of like a grandpa. I was like a grandpa, but it was a nice trip. Good. We had a good week.
Glad you're back.
Yep. You can tell if you love somebody when you travel with them. You've done it. It's like, okay, but living life.
Nothing can destroy friendships either than traveling with people. Either
those little bitty Crest tubes. Done, throw them away.
I know so many friends that became roommates in college and post-college, and then they're no longer friends.
That's it. It's like I've had it.
Yeah. Roy Gutierrez, good morning. I know his car club is going to be out at the Victoria Mall this afternoon, so looking forward to that. Steve Klein's going to come in and join us. We'll talk more about that in a little bit.
Very excited. This Cannonball, this vintage motorcycle, it's a race. It's a contest among basically rich guys and gals. But they buy these vintage motorcycles, and then they have to make them absolutely roadworthy. And then you have to be on a waiting list sometimes for years, because there's only 100 participants, and they are. Tell me what you think the odds are of this. Steve Klein helped. He participated in the event, and he's helped sponsor the event, and somehow this year the event's going right through Victoria. What do you think the odds are of that? Just blind luck, like somebody threw a dart?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First time ever it's gone north to south, I think, too. Right?
Yeah, which I think was his idea.
Yeah.
They had always gone east or west, I think east to west, maybe west to east. I think I would want to end up in California, right?
I think that's not the original Cannonball Run. Didn't it start on the East Coast?
Yeah, go west.
Yeah. Awesome. HR, good morning. Christina Wise, we're huge in Denver. Lysterometer's holding steady at 1,003. I think I kicked go live. Yeah,
look at that. We look good on that.
Johnny Houghton, good morning. Justin Glass, Jeremy Pena. Carrie Bump, good morning. Diana Hawes.
Hello, Carrie Bump. See how I fixed that? We look better on YouTube.
Judge Posey, good morning. Terry Murray checking in. Matt Boucher, Patrick Strauss, Karen Webb, Scott Snow, Amanda Bloschke's in. The Bloschkes are feeling better.
Good.
BJ Nelson, good morning. Jeff Fonseca says he's back.
Hey, Fonzie.
Stuart Martin, good morning. There's Don Nicole. Good morning, Don. I'm glad you're back. Lisa Poole, Kendra Douglas.
Don said Caleb will be back in 3 weeks. I
gave him a heads up.
Nice.
Chris Conrad, good morning. I'll get to that in a second. I want to finish.
BJ, for
Bobby
sure.
Sparkman, good morning. Tom Price is in. Your mom is in. Good morning, Mom. Mike Bloschke, Vanessa DeDeer, Sheriff Louderback checking in. Did you have to wear masks out there, and did you have any vaccine passport demands?
Yes, on the masks in the airports and on the aircraft for sure. United was the first United flight, the flight from Houston. They were so corny as to say, we'll be coming through the cabin giving you snacks. We expect you to lower your mask, take a bite, and then put your mask back over your face while you chew and swallow. So, immediately the anarchist in me just kind of like dropped my mask down below my nose.
Yeah.
But now on the way back, we flew on a 787. So that's a 3 in the middle, 3 on the left, 9 across.
Was that the MAX, the one that was crashing in
I did
other
not
countries?
study that. I did not study that, but I'll tell you this, it was a smooth ride. And it was kind of like if you got in One O'Connor Plaza and took off. That's what it felt like. Just go. Like we were going, and then all of a sudden you just didn't hear the road anymore, and then we were in the air for 4 hours.
Where'd you fly into? Or out of San Francisco?
San Francisco and of course Bush. But the masks in town, they would ask you at a restaurant to wear a mask to your seat. And apparently beginning next week, they're going to want you to have the vaccine card, even to sit like outdoors on the patios and all that. But,
Weird.
Yeah, I'll tell you my quick traveler's review. Napa Valley. Of course, take everything that you buy here, honestly. If it's a single-digit item, a Coke is, $3. No, it's $13 out there. Everything was that way. Everything
is Sweden.
Yes, and going into the city of Napa Valley and getting out, or Napa and getting out and walking around was no big deal. I mean,
Is that the home of the auto parts company, or
no? That it was pointed out that if they had a ghetto, they would call it Nappy instead of Napa. But I thought that was fun. But just walking around down there, I was like, not so impressed. Maybe it was just super quaint, but it certainly was not touristy. Just a little town, But the wineries are impressive, and the landscape's pretty. The rolling hills. We went out to the Muir Woods, the big redwood trees that are 370 feet tall.
Any forest fires out there?
We didn't see any spots.
Smoke issues?
No, we didn't see any of that. We did see some little tent cities under some overpasses. And on the ride back in yesterday, there were like 4 police cars getting out. And they were walking. What gets me about the homeless population out there is that they were so trashy. You see these little, pop-up tents, and there's just garbage everywhere. I'm like, if you can get a trash bag and at least try to keep yourself out of trouble. People drove by and the people on the bus were like, "Oh my, look at that!" Ugh. So,
Well, even the homeless want to accumulate stuff,
right?
show their wealth.
We
right?
needed BJ Nelson and White Trash Services to drop off a roll-off out there. They're big in Napa Valley. They're big in the 7 contiguous counties here. 550-1826. You reach out to White Trash Services. White Trash Site Services, if you need to get rid of a building or bulldoze a tent city and then scoop all that stuff up. That's how you do it.
That's an offer since 1926. That'sanoffer.com. Chevrolet,
Mazda, Mitsubishi,
Mazda for the
Cadillac,
You said it. You said it the Canadian way.
Mazda. Yeah,
Mazda,
right?
Cadillacs, pre-owned, all
Since
makes and models. They service them all
1926.
since 1926.
Yeah.
They've been Victoria's dealer.
Crazy. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his team will help you and yours protect your data, encrypt it, help
Understand
you
it?
with your analytics.
Yep.
Absolutely. Reach out to them. Make sure that your business is not compromised by the bad guys from India, China, Russia, all trying to hack into your website, steal your credit card
U.S.,
information,
Quebec.
especially those pesky Canadians.
Darn right.
And then the law offices of Steve Kidder. Avoid mistakes by hooking up with Steve Kidder. Let him help you understand a contract, can create a will or a trust, adopt a baby, create a partnership. He can help you avoid the pitfalls. Go ahead.
No, I like you throw create a trust out there like you've got a whole bunch of money.
Sure. If you need, after you come to so Ash and I were talking the other day. This is pretty good bull from Ash. Let me tell you real quick, Complete 360 right here on Rio Grande.
Health bar.
Red River, the health bar. They've got all of your, thank you, Mr. Jameson. They've got all their smoothies, paninis, wraps, bowls, protein bowls. You can go in there. And that's a very Napa type establishment. You go in there and I want the jasmine rice. My protein would be chicken. I need some spinach and I want some, kale in there. There you go. They've got red onions. It's a great place. Get by the health bar. So, I forgot. I was fixing to tell you something important.
Something maybe to do with our Rock the Yacht party.
So Ash and I were talking the other day, and in the same breath that I tell you that I don't agree with canceling Boot Fest. I'm not adamant about it. It's not like I'm going to call the mayor and whine about it. I'm just saying I respect their decision to do so. I just don't think it was necessary. Ash said that we could call our yacht party Boat Fest. And I like Boat Fest. I think that's got a little ring to it.
It does have a little ring to it.
But we think that if you come out
hijacking the city's brand, but that's
right,
okay.
Boat Fest. Come out and just get shit.
Anybody
wrecked.
can have 2 O's.
Right. We're A-okay at Boat Fest. Now, we're thinking about a huge party. October the 8th is a Friday night. BJ Nelson is going to stop by after the St. Joe football game. 7:30 to midnight.
All the details are on our Facebook page now. You can buy tickets through the Facebook page.
Please go to, we don't care if you show up. Just go buy a ticket. Yeah. Boat Fest is going to be 7:30 to midnight on Friday, October 8th. Club Westerner. Got a great band. Rewind coming in is going to play all kinds of classic, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s dance music, disco, YMCA.
Any Zeppelin? Stairway to Heaven's got to be the last song.
They'll play some of that. They'll play Sweet to the Bathroom.
No, that's only on the radio. That was always what ended the school dances in the late 70s and 80s. Was Stairway to Heaven.
Play some,
and then the teacher would come in, back, are you too close? You're dancing too close.
We won't be doing that at Boat Fest. You just come on out. They're going to be, you can dance as close as you want.
Or if you're happily married, as close as you don't want.
Right. Stop. Can you imagine? Why'd y'all get divorced? Boat Fest. Wayne Carter got us divorced. But we're going to have a good time.
We are. Adam Sugar asked if Sperry's are required. He also pointed out that Caleb got old overnight.
Right. And he gained some weight. Caleb, I think, I don't know what Caleb, I think Caleb eats like kale and Diet Coke.
Brent's not wearing a medium shirt today.
Medium.
It's a double XL. That's just a little tight.
Tough crowd. I'm glad I've got a friend. Steve Klein's going to join us in a minute. Glad I got a friend in here. Have a friend in studio. He's bigger than you too.
Jennifer Rayburn says it's leave room for the Holy Spirit. I didn't go to Catholic school, so I
Right.
don't know about that.
Right? He just whips out his blade. He's not scared. He's also, I guarantee you, there's something with the ballistic.
Here's the plan with this. You rush him,
Right.
and then when he stabs you, I'll get him.
You'll get him. It's always good to know you got my back.
Got your back.
Why don't we get him to come on? Why don't I'll go do the deal.
Okay.
You tell.
All right.
Steve,
You're gonna walk behind me.
you
Now he leaves the room.
come back, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Do you want to wear the crown? He's next to my mic.
That's your mic right there. You got to talk right into it.
And I'm going to give you this.
We're giving you the
Look at
instructions. So welcome to the show, sir.
that. Good morning.
Glad you're here.
Well,
You can lift that up a little bit, and you may
I
have
want you to
there
talk
go.
like right.
Yeah, you got to get right in front of it.
Well, it's kind of down low where Caleb was.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good.
Good morning. Got my 20-ounce coffee from Fast Stop.
There you go.
John knew it's a great cup of coffee if you're getting up.
Yeah, John's a good dude, and they do a great job. We so the premise of you being here is to pick your brain and get you to give folks some of the background and the details about this Cannonball event that's going on. I know. So what we've talked about, and I think we got it right, is tonight 4 to 6. The vintage motorcycles are going to be available for folks to view and maybe meet some of the riders at the Victoria Mall in front of the old Sears store.
Yes, sir.
South side of the mall.
South side of the mall.
In case there's people around that weren't here when Sears was here.
Also, though, folks, because we're growing so quick here in Victoria, folks like Roy Gutierrez are going to be there with their car clubs. So they're going to be around too. So you'll be able to see cars too if you want to see something with 4 wheels instead of beautiful vintage
Well, and I tell you,
motorcycles.
we've got a secret vehicle coming. Marvin Soyster from up here towards Cuero. He's bringing a John Deere Antique tractor. Can you believe that?
Cool.
Very cool.
He'll probably win best of show.
He probably will. He'll trailer that baby down here.
Yeah, I got to ask you guys, what the heck happened to your studio last week while you weren't here?
I don't know. I mean, you know, it used to be a fairly civilized and beautiful place, and there's just stuff everywhere.
There's ammo casings on the floor.
Right. Oh, yeah. And spent grenades and stuff. It's almost like we need it. Ash, what if we
Well,
could
when you
get a
have Posey
builder?
in here in the morning, and then you bring Caleb in, and he's Air Force.
What if we had a builder friend that could come in here and spruce this place up a little bit?
Is that whipped cream on the mini block?
Right. I think it is. I was smart enough to get out of here.
What's this?
Look, see, what is that?
Look at the size of this thing. Makes me want to buy a Hobie cat and
See,
use it for a sale. My
nice.
God, Caleb.
He brings props. He brings props with him. Oh,
No,
goodness.
I tell you what, Victoria needs to have some fun. Folks, this is a huge deal. People worldwide follow this event. We have had riders from around the world. It's limited to 100 antique motorcycles. They have to be 1930 or older.
Wow.
What are some of the vintage brands of bikes or makes that we would see? Harley Davidson was obviously around.
Yeah.
Indian.
Excelsior. The big
Yeah.
four was Harley, Indian, Excelsior, and Reading Standard. From 1898 to World War I, there were over 200 brands of motorcycles in the United States, and obviously most of them aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
There are Hendersons. We've got a couple of BMWs.
This is, Yamaha, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Triumph around back then? The British
No,
band? No.
no.
Was the motorcycle invented in the U.S.? Is it an American product?
The second one was.
Okay.
Okay. First one came out of France. So this is a big deal. At the turn of the century, when motorized transportation was invented, the first gasoline motor, a guy by the name of Davion Bouton from France developed this little motor. It's about 1 4 horsepower, and it was just everybody was trying to figure out how to bolt it into a bicycle.
And those are those big tire bikes back in the day,
No,
weren't they?
that was,
Or was that a little
before
earlier?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. You were second grade. That's okay. I'm struggling here a little bit. I'm not a natural like Buddy Keenan, you know.
Right. You gotta love Buddy.
Yeah,
He is a natural.
he missed his calling in life. He should have been a radio person.
He couldn't take the pay cut.
I know it. Anyhow, at the turn of the century, people, daredevils, would take a two-wheeled contraption with this, explosive thing that had gasoline in it between their legs and go from New York City to San Francisco. Take a couple months.
Wow.
And then pretty soon it would take a month, and pretty soon it was down to 11 days. So about 15 years ago, some friends of mine out of Sturgis, South Dakota decided we need to reenact this. And what we have today is 100 people bring 90 to 110-year-old motorcycles coast to coast. And I'll tell you, there's another 100 people in line waiting.
Right.
Okay, so if you get sick, you drop out, boom, there's another team. They might be from Germany. Okay?
Do they usually, is it a team? Do they trade riders? No, one person rides the whole event, but you can probably bring a mechanic and you probably bring a spouse.
Let me tell you about the money on this thing. It's starting to become a rich man's sport. If you can find a motorcycle, you're going to spend $50,000 for it. Then you're going to spend about 2-3 years of your life fabricating new parts that are missing all week because they're 100 years old.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you, because my dad's got an old 58 Chevy Impala SC, and it's hard to find parts. I can't even imagine how hard it is to find parts for these bikes that no longer exist.
You make them.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get out to the Victoria Mall this afternoon, you're going to see race trailers that have literally an entire machine shop. They have lathes. Okay. They got honing machines. They welding machines. Okay. These motorcycles break. You ride them all 12 hours a day.
Right.
You're up 12 hours all night long fixing it so you can go to the starting line the next morning.
When they were originally built, they weren't meant to be ridden 12 hours a day, So you think about it, there's probably a huge camaraderie among those people about, I'll go there because I know Klein's got this pin that I need.
I just did the motorcycle chase in July, and I'm going to call it a half cannonball. We'll call it a musket ball, maybe.
Maybe a musket ball.
Yeah.
To Moose Knuckle on Saskatchewan.
Moose Jaws in Saskatchewan.
Moose Jaws.
Knuckles in Manitoba.
Boy, did you fall off the table here.
Yeah. So you did it. And then what bike did you ride?
I rode a 75-year-old bike, a pretty new one, in fact. 46 knucklehead. But if you need a part and somebody else has it, you hand it to them.
That's awesome.
You keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the other things I want to mention is, good morning. I want to recognize a young lady at the Victoria Advocate named Kat. She's a young rider. She rides her own motorcycle. She came out yesterday to do an interview, and I put her on a 1912 Harley single cylinder with a leather belt drivetrain. Okay.
Wow.
We have 5 ladies in this year's Cannonball. 5, and they're phenomenal riders. I want to introduce you to some of those this afternoon also. So
awesome.
But I don't care if you're a gearhead. I don't care if you like cars, motorcycles, boats, airplanes, whatever. Okay. This will never, ever come to Victoria again, ever. Okay. They have a new route every 2 years. And it took some doing for me to get it to come to Victoria.
Well, I heard you're cooking steaks or something. I heard you, right? Am I right?
Got 2 big tents out there. There's about 250, 275 people. There's 100 riders. And then the mechanics and the machinists that are on their race teams and the race trailers deserve a good home-cooked Texas meal.
That's awesome. Ash and I'll be there early for the Wade and Carter tasting table to make sure everything's copacetic for those folks. I'd hate for somebody to get sick. So
Jeff
we'll take care of
Fonseca
that.
asked if the Vincent bike is around.
No, I'm not doing the grilling. 5D Steakhouse is going to take care of all the food for these people.
That's
Nice.
awesome. What's the Vincent bike? Jeff Fonseca says, hey, Steve, is the Vincent bike around?
Actually, you're lucky because the Vincent Motorcycle Club from Texas, a lot of riders out of Fredericksburg and the Austin area are already in Victoria. So if you're a Vincent person, and this guy's got taste, okay? To buy a nice Vincent today, $100,000.
Really?
Okay.
Adam Sugar said the French thought the motorcycle would be a great way to retreat.
That's why they invented it.
Take another hit.
That's nice.
Take another hit, you'll be fine.
That's nice. Well, we're excited to be there. And you own several of these vintage bikes yourself. That is one of the things. I mean, did you get into the bikes because of this, or vice versa?
It's a terminal disease and there's no real cure. I've been fascinated with two-wheelers since I was a kid. I've been collecting pre-1915 motorcycles for probably 30 years now.
Wow.
And consequently, out of the 81 riders that are still on the road, I think there's 37 of them that are personal friends of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I've had parts in a couple of motorcycles in the event, the last 4. I myself have never ridden the event. As Brent will tell you, I have severe attention deficit disorder. Probably
Squirrel.
Yeah, third day I'd see a left-hand turn and say, that looks cool. You'd never see me
Yeah,
again.
right.
So,
I'll catch you guys in Albuquerque.
yeah. But in all seriousness, and this is a family event, you know, bring grandma, bring the grandkids, bring the kids.
I think historians would love to be up there. Just to,
I
I mean, you're getting a chance to see living history.
Well, you're getting to see a chance to see close to $10 million of the rarest two-wheel transportation in American history. And a lot of these motorcycles, you will not even see if you went to a motorcycle museum. That's how rare they are.
Right. Riding history.
I see one every once in a while on like the Mecum auction, and they go for gazillions of dollars. It's
Well, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and look at it. I mean, if working class people like us bought a $50,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 antique motorcycle, you put it in your living room and dust it. These
Absolutely.
people are out here. Quit pointing at me, Brent.
He does do that.
My wife has taken some away from me in the living room.
Put your drink on the coffee bike. It's not the coffee table. It's the coffee bike.
Yeah, there's some long tank Hendersons in this race that are $250,000.
Wow.
Okay, and they're
That's
running
crazy.
down the road hard.
Yeah. That's like a guy getting in a Shelby and
Yes.
driving it hard, you know?
Yeah, or driving it down to get donuts and getting somebody door dinging.
Right.
David Brogger asked, how come it's limited to 100%?
It is a huge undertaking to take 100 motorcycles, 250 people, motorhomes, buses, trucks, trailers on the road.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of law enforcement like Brogger that you just can't trust.
Right. You got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
Is there a place today, just off the top of your head, a route where maybe if we wanted to go sit and watch them come into town, when would they be coming into town and where would
I
we
think
maybe see
we'll
them?
see the first motorcycles coming in about 3:30 this afternoon, but they're coming through Hallettsville.
Okay.
For our Hallettsville listeners, the launch here out on the side of the road,
Absolutely.
Okay. They should.
Judge
they're
Myers
coming
probably listening, so yeah.
down- They're coming down Highway 77.
Okay.
And I should also say, the public is allowed up close and personal to get real close to these motorcycles. If you've got a 4 or 5-year-old little boy or little girl that is fascinated, we'll put the child on the seat and get a picture taken.
Oh, that's
These
cool.
people have huge hearts. Okay, tomorrow morning, I would be at the Candlewood Suites out behind Wells Fargo. That's the starting line,
Okay.
and be there at 7 o'clock, and you can watch these motorcycles leave. The
That's
starting
pretty
line.
cool.
And then they're gonna take the east loop, Zach Lance, around the east side of town. They're gonna go down to the south loop, 59, and hang a right. So if you're down in that vicinity, park your truck on the side of the road, and they're gonna take a left on the Bloomington Highway and head to Rockport, Texas.
Awesome.
So if any Victorians are already in Rockport at your other home, okay? Park the boat, stand up real tall and watch because they're going to drive by.
And if you'd like a home in Rockport, contact Steve Klein, Steve Klein Builder. And I'm not saying Steve's got ADD, Ash. I'm saying that I've got 2 stairwells in my house that go nowhere. They go up and they just stop. He calls it a lounging platform. I don't know what it is. There's no door. They just stop.
I've only been doing this for 32 years. I'm still in training.
You've built a lot of homes here in Victoria and built the best. It's the best home.
Where's the race finishing this year?
South Padre.
Okay.
And this is Victoria's the last stop, and then they hit to South Padre tomorrow morning. So it's just a phenomenal opportunity for Victorians. Bring your family out. Bobby Sparkman got all the area car clubs, God bless him, all the area car clubs to come out and bring their cars. It's free to the public. And Jerry James is going to play in the parking lot, so we've got live music.
Cool.
And the weather's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Jerry bought one of those 49 knuckleheads new back when he and Brother Gary were going to junior high together. But if Jerry's there, that'll be great entertainment. Roy Gutierrez says he drives his Shelby Hart right in the back of that trailer to the next car show. You see, he's got one of those Super Snake Mustangs. It's a nice car. Way too much horsepower.
So, I mean, seriously, there is no excuse to not come see this event. About 25 years ago, the Great American Car Race came through Victoria, which is the old antique cars, and they circled the entire square down at downtown. And really, this is about the biggest event to come to Victoria in the last 25 years. So
It's awesome. No, we're very excited. Hey, speaking of downtown, don't you have a project going on downtown? I know that you're trying to help us renovate downtown Victoria, get it exciting, get some people down
I'm a
there.
little embarrassed because a lot of people have tried to get me to do something on Victoria for a very long time. And I got to give credit to Torrin Mills. He finally got through my thick head. I'm going to do 8 brand new homes that when you drive by them when they're finished, they will look like they've been there for 100 years.
That's awesome.
But the interiors are today's modern kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, the modern floor plans that families and people want.
Awesome.
So it'll be a fun project. I'll come up and talk to you someday about it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I had heard because that buzz.
And actually, there
Kinda
was a
went
question
through
up here,
downtown.
asking about the old Victoria East project. So,
Yeah.
So it's actually on the site where the original Victoria Hospital was.
Wow.
Still a couple of footings in the ground. So, and there's a lot of people in
We have to get Dwayne out there to dig that out.
We've actually retrieved a lot of the old bricks from the building, and we're going to find a way to reuse those on the new homes. So we'll be green and repurposed.
Very cool.
awesome. Cool.
Well, we appreciate you coming by. Now, what time are you going to be out there today? Folks want to come up and thank you for their house.
I'm going to leave now and go to Victoria Mall parking lot.
There you go.
I think
You better get another cup of coffee.
I'll stop at Speedy Stop on the next one so that I can make
Spread it out.
Yeah,
Mr. Thomas is barely getting by.
Cliff is on a fixed income.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Takes a lot of money to put in his boat.
Right. Right.
No, the race trucks and trailers should start arriving about noon today. They don't ride the same route for obvious reasons. You just don't want that much traffic on back country roads.
Yeah.
Motorcycles will start showing up about 3 o'clock. I realize people have to work. So, but the minute you get out of work, just come to the mall. Don't go home and get your wife and the kids. Let them
Meet you there.
You know,
It's going to be great.
It's like Ashley. She can drive the other tractor to town.
Right?
Right.
And at our mall, there's always plenty of parking.
So it's just a wonderful thing. I helped plan it. I wanted to fill up the hotels in Victoria, fill up the restaurants, and more importantly, I've gotten calls Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, New Mexico, Arizona, all over Texas, and they're all coming to Victoria. Okay? So we have thousands and thousands of people that are coming to Victoria that have never been here before.
That's awesome.
And it's a great opportunity for our community to show that we're wonderful people. It's a wonderful place to live. It's a great place to do business, and hopefully we'll get some spin off of that. I have to thank the city. Joel Novosad, Commission Visitors Bureau, put together the police department, the sheriff's department, the street department, all these fire department, fire marshal. Everything is handled. Okay, I have done motorcycle events in Kerrville, Fort Worth, Nashville, Dallas, a couple other places. I have never worked with a city that you said, "Here's what we need to do. Would you help me do it?" And I mean, it happened.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, Joel's a good one to work
if you
with.
want to complain about the city, go ahead and complain. But I'm telling you what, these people jumped over backwards.
That's
They
great.
did a tremendous job. So.
Dale Zook says he welcomes Brent back, but he said he saw the rally on the road traveling past Marshall, Texas yesterday. It's
Yeah.
quite the sight to see. So
We're there. In fact, Donnie today said, "Okay, well, we'll pick up the kids at 4, come back and we're going right there." So I'll be out there. I can't wait to see everybody, and I go look at all the bikes are fascinating because you're going to see them after they've been on the road for a while, but I bet you they're still just going to be just gorgeous.
I'm actually bringing. I had 3. I had a 1912 Harley single. I had a 1912 all original unmolested twin cylinder Indian, and a 1911 Flying Merkle board track racer.
Old Merkel.
That were in the trailer. So I just took the trailer up and brought it with me. I'm going to put them on display. So if you've got a child that wants her picture taken, or I guess we can hoist grandma up.
Right.
Also.
Throw your leg over, Granny.
But it's amazing.
that board track racer, was that one that they used to race in those velodromes back in the
Yes.
day? That was crazy stuff back in the
Yes.
day because those velodromes were made for bikes, pedal bikes, not
You do that.
motorcycles.
I just picked this bike up in Tucson, Arizona. It showed up Monday, actually. It'll go 110 miles an hour. It has 0 brakes.
Nice.
And it has no clutch and no transmission.
Sounds like the University of Texas offense. Maybe not. All gas, no
You
brakes.
have to do this show all the time.
Yeah, he's stuck with
All the
me,
time.
Steve,
God
man.
bless you.
Thank you. I
Except when I'm
appreciate
gone, then he gets the voice of reason, Caleb Shaw.
Yeah, I still can't believe the stuff that's laying on this floor.
I know, I appreciate it.
I'd send Caleb Shaw a bill.
I'm going to send him some kind of notice.
These veterans, I don't know if it's PTSD or what.
I don't know.
They just snap and weird things happen.
But yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we'll definitely see you this evening.
Yes.
We appreciate you coming by.
And good morning, listeners, and thank you for putting up with me this morning. And more than that, thanks for putting up with Brent Carter.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Come to the Victoria Mall, Sears parking lot. 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to go till dark. And the last thing I want to close with, not only can you walk up and get very, very close to these machines, it's not like a car show where you have to stand behind the rope.
Yeah.
Right.
These you can get up real close. And the riders will love telling you about the machines, okay? When they start taking these machines back to the pit area, we've got a separate spot where all the machine trucks and trailers are going to be, the shops, okay? Follow them. Stand there and watch them rebuild these motors. There's one rider named Shinya Kimura. Shinya's from Japan. He lives in California now. He has a 1911 Indian. This is the 5th time he has taken this machine all the way across America. It's
Wow.
the same motorcycle.
Wow.
Okay. He literally rebuilds the motor just about every night. So it'll be a lot of fun for a lot of people. It's something we've never had in Victoria. I'm real proud to bring it here. And I thank both of you gentlemen for letting me come in
Yes, sir.
and talk about it.
We're proud to promote it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
When you have a mutual admiration society with someone who's as crazy as you are, it's fun. I mean, I never know what Steve and I are going to talk about, and I've never yet failed to learn something when I talk to Steve. I don't know why he indulges me.
I don't either.
Most of it's useless information.
But it's so much fun. We'll see you tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a bunch. Really appreciate you coming by.
Come see us at Victoria Mall tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
And-
Please come.
Thanks for all you do for Victoria, and we'll see you this evening. Folks, this is going to be a big event. I really encourage everybody, bring your kids, bring your small children, let them see what a hand-built, and custom-built motorcycle. Let them see what that looks like and how it performs. These are great folks. They'll be great stewards of their artifacts, if you will. They're going to be taken care. So,
Jimmy Simpson's watching.
hi, Jimmy.
Karen Budwine, good morning. Gonna be looking forward to this. It's gonna be fun.
Some real quick paperwork, folks. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. You reach out to Allen for all your towing needs. These bikes don't need him, but you might. Their pit crew might. 578-6300. Caleb Shaw says, how did I get blamed for the floor? He had a pair of thong underwear.
Go back and watch that, Caleb.
I don't know, Caleb. You need to back up.
At first, I thought that was Steve's mask.
I didn't know. Well,
So he could get into,
knowing
businesses.
Steve, he might wear that as a mask. But folks, the VCS company is our banner sponsor. They have nothing to do with all this chicanery. But the Hartman family can help you with all your communication needs. If you're a rider and you need a bike-to-bike communication system, they've got it. You need a way to put a headset on and talk to your crew chief, they've got it. First responders, they've got FirstNet. Security, surveillance, suppression of fire, they've got it all at the VCS companies. Chesnick Furniture, you just do better at Chesnick.
116 West 1 Lynn.
Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Reach out to Bobby Leon and his family. Nothing says football season like a new recliner. It's Father's Day in October. Reach out and get Dad a new recliner today, 50% off as they celebrate 101 years in Victoria, Texas. And today's your last day to get to Veracruz. This week,
Not forever.
get in there. I'll be there at lunch. I'll be there at lunch today.
Ordering number 7.
I'll have a number 7 with a little side of a vegetable soup. It's fantastic. It's practically slimming. That'll get you ready for Boat Fest. You've got to be fit and tight to be at yacht party.
Yeah, you got to be an Adam Sugar. They asked if he's got to wear a Sperry. Sperry's are required.
Sperry's are I think they're a given. I mean, it's what you would wear. It's what the thinking man would wear on a yacht.
Deck.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the Lido deck. Can you imagine if you were like trying to cut a little bit of a rug and you kind of catch your Sperry on that? You could take a tumble
On the dry floor.
on the dry floor.
They're made for wet surfaces.
Be there. And then, of course, I have seen some amazing photos lately on AJ's detailing page. AJ's detailing. Anthony is just phenomenal. So our buddy, or we have a buddy, we won't mention because it might be like a HIPAA thing, but they drive a beautiful, and it's a beautiful Range Rover, the black,
Yep.
And I always thought it was a great looking vehicle. You ought to see the transformation of what it was to what it is
now.
That's just
Thanks to
unbelievable.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ is unbelievable. So get by. John Paul Hall says no shoes on the deck. By the way, don't bring any bananas to the yacht party. We don't do that
Pineapples
either.
only.
Pineapples only.
Jennifer Rayburn asks if the ascot is optional.
Jeff Fonseca says I've shot in the 60s with Sperry's. That's because he got a slight blister and he quit it for 14 holes. Did they start the Ryder Cup yesterday?
I believe they did. Yeah, Europe's still trying to win it back, right?
Yeah, I guess John Rahm, number 1 player in the world, kind of being the captain. I don't know if he's a captain or not. He's just the number 1 player in the world. I don't know who the American captain. Jeff Fonseca will know. Terry Murray says something.
Steve is gracious in allowing Victoria Duck Safari to be at the Cannonball Run today to kick off duck season. People can adopt a little rubber duck for $5, chance to win $5,000. All supporting one of the 28 local nonprofits. Cool.
Very good. Nancy said, we will something. What did she tell us?
We'll also be selling cold water and soda, so stop on by and see us. Absolutely, Terry. We'll
There
be
you go, Terry. That's great. No, that's a great thing.
John Paul Hall says no luggage, no bananas. Yeah, we don't want anybody spending the night on October 8th. I mean, if you do so, you can go to the parking lot.
Yeah, but
We're
I'm
not
still
responsible
working.
for you.
And if anybody knows, by the way, this is your party. We're throwing it for you. It's not trying to make any money. We're not supporting any charities this year. We're just trying to have a party.
For the sake of having a party.
Yep, which is kind of lost these days. But if you have a food truck, if you know of a food truck, if you've got somebody you can get me in touch with, I'd love to have some late night grub out in the parking lot at Club Western where you could walk out and get something to eat because we certainly won't care if you want to bring a Subway sandwich. I'm just saying that, there's no food provided or sold at Club Westerner. So,
Yeah.
bag of pretzels, man.
Not sure I want to walk into IHOP and have a
Did
booster
you
seat thrown at me.
see that?
Yeah, we've talked about
Why
it.
didn't those
Was,
people
was
go
that
to?
was that all over the news in Napa
Yeah,
Valley?
well, it showed up on like some of our feeds, but I don't understand why those folks weren't all at Jason's Deli having a salad. Man, that was 2 tons of fun going on over
Judge
there.
Post says the Ryder Cup started this morning at 7. Steve Stricker's the captain.
Oh, Steve Stricker, thank you, sir. So Steve Stricker is a non-playing captain, I would assume. And
could he insert himself if he needed to?
I don't think so. I'm sure he probably could. It's probably a gentlemanly thing, but I just don't see how you're going to beat the Americans. DeChambeau, Koepka, John Rahm. I don't, of course, there's Paul Azinger, Justin Leonard. I don't know, but I don't know how you're going to beat them. Tiger Woods out there with a Walker. Be very difficult.
Payne Stewart looking down.
Fonseca says Stricker is not playing. What else you got?
Well, did the border crisis come up? Did anybody bring that up while you were in Napa Valley? Anybody ask, is it really as bad as what they're not seeing on the media?
Well, we met some really nice folks like
Barry.
I let you visit with Barry. Yeah. So Barry's a really important agent that's out of Providence, Rhode Island. And he had asked.
He said, the car.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding now, folks. He asked me about it. He goes, "You went to Texas?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Didn't you have an old Providence guy there, Rick Bonds?" Rick Bonds. I go, like Barry Bonds? He goes, no, you got Munoz, Rick Bonds, Barnes, Bonds, Rick Bonds. I was like, oh, okay. I said,
Rick Bonds,
crazy Yankee, really a nice man. He and his wife Paula were super nice. The folks from there was a Randy and Angela Trimble were from Kansas, and they were in tune with what's going on and saying, they actually understood that Governor Abbott was trying to do something about the border. But, I think that Texas is so big. When we talk about, like he's in Rhode Island and we'll go to this state for this, or we'll go to that state for that, or we drive into Boston or whatever. And you're like, okay, and I'm like, so if I drive 5 hours, I'm still way in the middle of Texas.
Exactly.
It's hard for people to understand who haven't been down here.
Same thing in California, north to south. You could drive 12 hours and still be in California.
Sure. You could drive 12 hours and still be in San Francisco. The traffic out there sucks.
No doubt.
And for nothing. I mean, like for nothing. Middle of the day, 3 o'clock, and you're like, what, on a Sunday?
It's because they're all trying to get to work the next day.
Crazy.
Texans lost last night. I don't know if you saw that. Carolina beat them pretty handily.
They beat them. So weren't they the ones that didn't Brother G say that those are the two worst teams? They flip-flop places?
I think that was Jacksonville. Carolina's like 3-0 now.
Okay.
They got Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold just threw for 300 yards and looked pretty good last night.
Sam Darnold was from UCLA?
USC, I think, wasn't he?
USC,
yeah,
okay.
USC boy. But ended up getting drafted by the Jets, where aside from the Texans, that's where quarterbacks go to die.
Right.
And so I think they released him, or maybe he wanted out and released himself. But he goes to Carolina, and geez, he has a running back, a couple of running backs. That Hubbard kid from Oklahoma State looked pretty good.
Right.
McCaffrey got hurt yesterday.
He's a rookie, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hubbard's legit.
Canadian too, by the way.
Damn.
But McCaffrey got hurt and didn't return, hammy issue. But it's amazing what an offensive line, some good receivers, and a running game to keep defenses honest
can do for a quarterback.
Yep, Darnold's looked pretty good through 3 games.
BJ Nelson, I hope maybe you can. Well, if you've got to go out of town to Houston today, it's going to be difficult for you. I understand, but I'll mention that to Steve Klein. She said White Trash Services and White Trash Site Services would love to do some business with Steve Klein's organization. Steve's an amazing individual and has really built, no pun intended, built an empire, built a ton of homes in this area and other areas. He developed entire portions of North Austin. So it's done very well. Folks, one real quick thing. If you want a Steve Klein home, bless you, Ash, you need to reach out to Terry Murray. She can help you with a first-time mortgage. She can help you refi a mortgage. She is a complete one-stop mortgage shop. So reach out to Terry Murray. Take advantage of these low interest rates that will not last. Wind services, wind electrical, wind plumbing.
No, even the feds this weekend hinted that they
It's gonna
wait
start
they're
creeping
gonna stay
up.
where they are.
You
for
need
much
solar
longer.
panels. You need electrical generators, backup generators for your home. It's
Plumbing.
storm season. Yes, they do it all. Wind services. They're in a little transition. You know, Carl Wendt built a business. His son Aaron is the not the heir apparent, but he's the president now.
Yeah.
He's taken over. He's bought the business from his dad, and Carl's still there for all your needs. If you want to buy a generator, Carl is the guy to talk to. But reach out to Wind Services, and then USA Concrete Coatings. Elaine and Charlie Garcia still love helping bring this program. It means a lot to us. They live in Corpus, but they have an office here, 578 Home. And if you reach out to their organization, they will come out and put down a tough as nails polyurethane coating. Well, peel, crick, stack, peel,
Crack,
stack,
stain,
yeah, antimicrobial, antibacterial. You can eat off of it.
won't flake off.
There you go. Get down there and deal
Yeah.
with that.
And don't forget Bluebonnet Youth Ranch raffle tickets and the silent auction going on now. You can click right to it from the Bluebonnet Youth Ranch Facebook page. Last night I looked; they had like almost 30 items in the auction. Some great ones. They've got a walk-on part in a movie that's being filmed in Texas over the next 2 months, and the winning bidder gets a little walk-on role in that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it somebody like walking out of a gym, like
Yeah,
like
something
me?
like that. Yeah, out of Veracruz. Yes.
All right, cut. We're gonna make this a guy walking out of a Mexican restaurant. It looks more realistic. Yeah.
But they can't give any details, but apparently like Academy Award nominated and winning actors are part of this movie.
Well, we're gonna win an Emmy, folks. This program is just exploding, and I did advertise. I told people you got to check us out. You got to get our waiting card. You got to.
Yeah. So
we're big in Bloomington, Edna.
it's been a pretty light show today, but I did want to point something out because yesterday it was reported that, Joe Biden's U.S. special envoy to Haiti has resigned in protest for the way that, the media is portraying the treatment of Haitians at the border. Why didn't he resign in protest of the way the Haitian government is treating Haitians in Haiti?
Right. Folks, I don't know if you watched any of these videos. The right does it too. People that have political agendas twist realities to suit their agenda. The Border Patrol agents down there who are on horseback, they use a split rein system. They do it for several reasons. One reason is, let's say that a illegal alien gets a hold of one rein, you can pull the horse the other way till you regather your reins. And the horse, you don't want somebody who is out of control dragging around your 1,200-pound horse with you on it. And when you see them whirling that like a lasso or a whip, if you're ignorant, you're trying to keep some distance between a 1,200-pound animal and an alien. If that horse steps on them, could kill a small child. You swing the reins to keep people back. Nobody was getting beat with a rein. That is folly. It's a lie. It's made up, agenda-driven garbage. And the reality is, I wouldn't have had a problem if they'd have smacked one of those guys with a rein and said, get back in the river. You're not coming in. But they weren't. And they're not trained to do that. And they didn't do that.
No. But they can lie about it. And that's okay. They won't even report on the fact that Haitians that are being deported back to Haiti out of this, the ones that they've obviously vetted and said, no, you're not coming in here, are beating up immigration officials as they get on those planes.
They're beating
up pilots when they get off the planes. And these are the people trying to come here, folks.
Get your map out, get your phone out, and find Haiti. And try to figure out how 15,000 Haitians got to Del Rio. It had to be kind of like a triathlon. You kind of had to bike a while, walk a while, swim a while. It ain't right next door. It ain't like they just walked up from Honduras. 15,000 Haitians.
Well, they did, but
Yeah,
how
but they
got
got there.
first. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get out. Ash and I are going to go have breakfast. And then we'll be back here on Monday. Thank you for letting me come back. We enjoy doing the show for you
Go
guys.
Cougs, go Cowboys.
Please go to the Wade and Carter page on Facebook. Click on the event, October the 8th. You can buy your ticket online. We'll take care of the rest. $10 a throw. Go get you a ticket and let's
Plus
go.
some fees.
We're looking forward to it. We'll talk to y'all Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Did you have Texas